Hi, I'm Dr. Bertice Berry, and I need to tell you this story. My mother had this prayer that she would pray with us every day, and that prayer continued with my children. So, my children and me and my mother, we would all pray this prayer every morning before they went to school. Divine love always has and always will supply our every need. So let nothing hinder nor delay the divine plan that the Creator has for your life today. We're moving on and on and on. And at the end of it, we'd all put our hands in and then we'd go, berries. Well, the day before my mother passed away, she was really anxious and frightened. I think maybe the day before that morning, really anxious and frightened. And so I did a search for her prayer, the source of her prayer. I was praying it with her, but it didn't give her a calm. It was probably a few days before. And so I looked up where that prayer came from, and I found out that it came from Mary Eddy Baker, who was the founder of the Christian Science movement. And I wondered, well, when did mom participate in the Christian Science movement? Anyway, so I found a letter that had these ideas in this letter, and I brought it back to her room and I read it to her. And it says this: the place you seek is seeking you, the place you need is needing you. Divine principle brings need and supply together for natural good. God wisely, intelligently, and lovingly controls, guides, protects, and prospers, blesses the union of man and her purpose, or man and his purpose. All that you need to do is to see that your consciousness is fully prepared, enlarged, uplifted, joyous, expected of infinite good, so that no sense of limitation may hinder the manifestation of God's will for you. Well, I read that to her, and she closed her eyes and she said, "Oh, I remember. I remember now. I remember." And then she went on to give me what she felt was her legacy for her life, for me to live out, which was the legacy of a clean slate. I thought about this today as I was contemplating something that had happened. I was on my way to Sunday school, and our Sunday school is in the parish house, which is a block away from our church. And so as I'm walking with Deacon Patty and her husband, we're walking slowly over. There are people who live in that square, that park, who live outdoors. And our church at our parish house served the hungry and those without homes 5 days a week. So many of them camp out in that area. And a lot of them line up. It was Sunday, but they're getting in line for Monday's meal, because the meals are, they are warm, they are hot. It's a full meal. It could be ribs, it could be chicken, it could be spaghetti. It's a full meal. And so they're given food for the weekend, and so they're kind of staying around in that area and in that park, in that square. Well, our weather has gone from 70 to 50 to 40 to 30. It's just all over the place. And today was cold. But I had on my travel shawl that I just made for traveling, and it's made of this really beautiful cashmere that just feels like rich almond. And so it was in the back of my car, and I didn't know if I would need it. Would I need it? Is it going to be cold enough? And it was definitely cold enough. So I wrapped myself in it. And I was walking across, and I saw a woman who said, "I'm waiting for the sun to come up. It's cold." I said, "Would you like my shawl?" And she said, "No, that's okay. It's so beautiful." I said, "Well, thank you. I made it." She said, "No, you did not." I said, "Yeah, I made it." So we keep walking on, and there's another woman sitting on the bench, and she's shivering. She's got like a piece of a blanket over her. It looked like it was torn from another blanket. And, we greeted them as we do when we're walking through the square. "How are you doing?" And she said, "I'm good, but I'm so cold, and you look so good in that stole. It is so beautiful. You look beautiful." And she's giving me what I need. And so I said, "Well, would you like it?" And she looked at me in shock, and I said, "Yeah, you can have it." And she said, "I don't want to take your beautiful wrap." And I said, "Well, I made it. I can make another one." And she said, "You made it?" And as we were talking, other people were joining us. And these were people who looked like they had been camping out as well. And one of them you could see was a close friend of hers. And he said, she's been very sick, and this is going to make her feel so good. And so she reached for it, and I said, can I wrap you in it? And she smiled so beautifully that I would offer to wrap her in it. And then she said, oh, it smells so good. And I wrapped her in it, and he came and he put his arms around her, and he said, it is soft. And he was holding her. She was holding him. And some other people came around, and they were thanking me. They were thanking me. And I thought about my mother's prayer and those words from Marietta Eddie Baker, that the thing you need is needing you. Afterwards, somebody said, you need a coat on. Why don't you have on a coat? And I was like, oh, it's okay. I'm just going right over to the parish house. No, you need a coat. I'm just going to the parish house. And then after church, someone said, I heard what you did, and I'm going to just say that and leave because I don't want to start crying. And I'm not telling you this to tell you what I did. I'm telling you this to tell you that the thing you need is needing you. The people you seek are seeking you. The love you desire is the love that you give. The world that is not divided is in the union you bring. The hope that you need is in the joy and the laughter that you share. The peace that you seek is in the peace you give away. I love you.